Hey everyone, so we're in my living room here today. I'm going to show you quickly how to easily install a picture frame. Probably one of the easiest things you can ever do, but you want to make sure you do it right, that it's centered, that it's level. I actually already have one here on the right hand side. My wife just ordered another one to go over there. There's two things that I want to make sure to capture here. Number one is that the height of the second one I'm going to do is the same height as this one right here. And I also want to make sure that it is centered between the TV and the wall over here. So I'll show you how to do both of those things. Now you won't need much to do this job. You're going to want a tape measure to do your measurements. We've got some tape here. You can use any type of tape that you have, but a tape and a pencil in order to mark exactly where we want to put the picture frame. I used to use nails and those little hangers for the pictures. Then you leave holes in the wall. These 3M command strips actually tend to do the job much better. So I'll use those for actual mounting, and then we'll need a level to make sure that it's level when we put it on the wall. All right, so in order to make sure that the height of the second one that I'm going to put up there is the same as this one, I'm going to measure to a common reference point that's going to be the same from the left side of the TV to the right side of the TV. Typically I'd use the ceiling, but since I have the crown molding here, I'm going to measure up to the crown molding. Okay, so that's 22¼ inches. So now we're going to measure that on the other side as well, and then we'll mark that with the tape and the pencil. All right, now that I know the height from the bottom of the crown molding to the top of the picture was 22¼ inches, I'm going to do that on the left side and the right side. And I'm going to use a couple pieces of tape. And I'm going to mark that out so whenever I put the picture frame on the wall, I know the exact height that it needs to be mounted at. And then whenever you're placing this tape, just make sure you're putting it far enough left that it's not going to be sitting behind where you're mounting the picture frame. So just go a little bit further left than you think it needs to be. Okay, and then do the other side, same thing. Okay. All right, now we want to make sure it's centered in between the TV and the wall over here. So I'm going to measure that distance, and then we'll just divide that by 2, and then we'll tape it out exactly in the middle of the TV and the wall. Okay, so that's 44½. So then we'll divide that by 2, and we'll go 22¼ and then we'll mark that with tape again. Same thing when you're placing that piece of tape, make sure it's a little bit above those lines that you just made that are going to be the top of the picture frame so that it's not sitting behind the picture frame when you go to mount it. All right, we've got the picture frame here that we're going to be mounting. So what I'm going to do now is measure the width of it up here, divide that by 2, and then I'll put another piece of tape with a mark on it. And then whenever I go to mount it, I'm going to line that mark that I'll put on that picture frame with the mark I have up there, and I'll also line it up with those pieces of tape that marked how high the picture frame should be. Okay, the picture frame is 25¼ so we'll divide that by 2. That will be 12�5/8 that we'll mark in the center. So we got our piece of tape. Mark that 12�5/8. Then we're good. Okay, now on the back side of the picture here, I'm going to use these 3M Velcro strips. So you just put 2 of them together. You can peel off the back on one side to stick it to the picture frame, and then when you're ready to mount it to the wall, you'll peel off the back of the other side. Whenever you're doing these, make sure you press and hold them down for about 20 to 30 seconds each, just to make sure that they're adhered well to the actual picture frame. All right, now that we're ready to get to mounting, we can take off the other side of these double-sided adhesives. All right, now for mounting this, I just need my level, and I need to line up this mark that I made in the middle of the picture frame with that top piece of paper that marked the middle between the TV and the wall. And then the height of the actual picture frame, I need to line up with that mark I made on the right side piece of tape and the left side piece of tape. So we'll go ahead and do that now. And since you have that adhesive backer tape peeled off, you need to make sure you don't push it against the wall until you actually have it set where you want it to be. Otherwise, it can be a pain to get off sometimes. Same thing here then, once you got it set where you want it to be, make sure you're pressing and holding against the wall for about 20 to 30 seconds. That's what 3M recommends to make sure it fully adheres and has the full strength of the adhesive. So I'll do that on the bottoms and the sides as well. It's a bit hard to see back there, so I'll just kind of show you up close as well. You can see there's the line I made on the left-hand side. Lines there in the middle, and then the line on the right hand side. I can also show you with the level as well. That's looking pretty much in the center of the level. So we'll show you the far back view as well, just to see them in comparison from the left picture to the right picture. Okay, so you can see those look pretty even overall. Just need to pull off that tape there, and then we'll be all wrapped up. All right, thank you for sticking around to the end. If you got value from this video, appreciate you giving me a thumbs up. And if you want to be notified of future DIY content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, we'll see you here on the next one.